Call this meeting to order this week. Everybody remember to silence your mobile devices. If you got it. Commissioner Roberts, you don't mind me leaving some invitations for us?
Absolutely. You're most kind of gracious to me, Father Lord. We thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. And Lord, that you continue to be with us this afternoon, Lord, as we make decisions and hear things going on in our county. I pray, Lord, that you guide our thoughts and our processes, Lord. I pray, Lord, you bless each and every household that's represented here, the ones that have joined us tonight. Lord, I just thank you for all things you do. Favor of Jesus. Amen.
Man posted 2 scores left at of Pinehurst. You lead us in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Everybody, please make yourself aware of the ethics, awareness, and conflict of interest among the evening. Do you have any conflict of interest? Not hearing of any. Do we have any additions or changes to the agenda this evening?
Commissioner, I move that we amend the agenda, make item C, recognition of Mitchell High School golf team, and then renumber the following items, D, E, and F.
I got a motion to amend to add item 10C, item 10C for recognition of the Mitchell High School golf team and renumber accordingly. Do I have a second? All in favor, vote the usual sign. Motion carries. Do I have moved we adopt the agenda this evening? Second. All in favor, vote the usual sign. Motion carries. Do I have a next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from May 16th to May the 24th. I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, vote the usual sign. Motion carries. Next item on the list this evening is a public hearing for the adoption of the, or for the, not for the adoption, but for the fiscal year 23-24 budget. I hear a motion that we enter into a public hearing. Second. All in favor, vote by the usual sign. Anyone here this evening? Any questions around the budget or want to speak publicly around the budget? So maybe someone might have a comment on the budget, wanted to speak. Anybody, this is any questions or concerns around it? No concerns? Do I have a move? We end the public hearing.
So moved.
The second.
Second.
All in favor, vote by the usual sign. Motion carries. Next item on the list to see is our employee of the month for May. It's the employee of the month and the family too. See, you got a good bunch right there with you. No, we want to recognize the Mitchell County Board of Commissioners. Would like to recognize Allison Smith as the May employee of the month. Allison works in our finance department for duties being payroll, consists of processing 3 payrolls per month, as well as entering all new employees into the payroll systems and obtaining benefits for them. In turn, she's also responsible for deleting terminated staff from payroll and benefits. Recently, Allison hosted payroll staff from another county to observe our process, and in turn, she traveled to another county to observe their processes. Both gained new ideas. Allison came back and decided to implement one of the ideas she saw. She spent many hours working with the finance software staff and the IT staff to adapt our 23-year-old software to be able to email our employees their pay stubs versus receiving a pay stub in an envelope twice a month. After several trials and test runs, Allison went live with the new process in May. Our employees now have the option to receive their pay stub by email or by paper. 85% of our employees have taken advantage of the new email option and love it. The new process is going to save Mitchell County Finance Office a case of copy paper and about 3,400 envelopes a year in cost savings. That doesn't even count the man hours required to stuff and distribute those. So pretty awesome. Thank you, Allison, for going above and beyond to implement a process that the employees love and at the same time will save the county time and money. Congratulations on being selected as employee of the month. So I'll tell you something, when I got hired, my first job out of college, the guy told me, he said, Steve, he said, you can do about anything you want, but do not screw up people's paychecks.
Exactly.
About anything, and I was like, well, I wouldn't mess up nobody's paycheck. Well,
You know.
of course, I've screwed up a few paychecks. That's exactly right, but you know, what you do is very, very important, and we really appreciate it. So thank you for doing that. If you come up here, we got your little flag. We really appreciate it. Let me turn this over so we can explain it. Yeah, here you go. Let me get us a picture. Let me slip my gut in. Thank you very much. Well, it's live. I used to look like you about 25 years ago. It's on deck. Next thing we've got this evening is Miss Jessie with the tax collector's report. Allison, we would like to stay at least.
Maybe, but not that good.
We're good to go, Brenda. Hello.
Collections for the month of May is $68,505.60. And the efforts that we've been doing, number of payment agreements we've had are 59. It's set off on 60 accounts. Garnishments are 17, bank attachments 2. Number of foreclosures is actually active now. Civil cases are 7. And one foreclosure, sorry, one foreclosure has been in April, began in April. It's now complete. The collection rate year to date, 97.71. May 31st of last year, ditto, 97.71. Get ready for the new bills to go out.
Any questions for this? So next thing we got tonight, we wanted to recognize our Mitchell High golf team. I don't know, I think most people are aware, but you know, Mitchell, you guys pulled off a pretty awesome feat there a couple of weeks back in winning the state championship. And we're 1A now, right? So we're,
Yeah.
That's so you know, that's never happened to my knowledge for Mitchell, right? Winning golf state championship, right? So pretty awesome. So, and Mr. Connor Warren, I think he's the A man on the team. I believe you shot. I was with your grandpa in a meeting and boom, and he couldn't concentrate or anything. He was showing me his phone. Like, look what, you know, look this after Connor did on, He said, my gosh, see, I was like, good gosh, man, that is a heck of a good score. So, you know, heck of a couple of days. And I think my understanding is that's the second lowest round, in, North Carolina history for all golf. So a lot of golfers been through there playing. So man, that's pretty awesome. So keep it up. You know, remember your friends. Think about your old buddies around here, you know, so it'll come carry bags for you. But, oh man, we appreciate everything you guys have done and just wanted to take a few minutes to recognize you in front of the county and, give you guys a few minutes to speak. You know, we got audience out there that love to hear from her.
Brody, you're part.
I listen to you every Friday night, so I know you can speak.
Not too much. Good year. It's a lot of fun.
That sounds like it. Sounds like it'd be a heck of a good year.
Try it next year.
That's, yeah, you guys, you're only losing Mr. Garland, right? Out of the team, so that's, you guys ought to be still pretty stacked, so. I mean, congratulations, guys. That's an awesome feat. You know, I can't imagine what it's like to win a state championship in anything, let alone, you know, golf. I mean, that's really impressive. So, you guys don't want to say anything else?
We take a picture with you.
Yeah, let's get a picture and we'll.
Brody won, what's you win? Yeah. This is good.
Man, I didn't realize that, Brody. So,
He came straight home and called about 15 ball games, he got holiday and all that, I'll tell you.
congratulations. That's you know, it's a lot,
No, you don't need it.
in the words of the great Jimmy Valvon, one of the greatest coach in the history of the ACC. They had a couple of, you know, on the back end, it was a little bit questionable there on his way out, but, you know, my favorite quote that he ever said was, every day, ordinary people do extraordinary things, and especially when you get a team together like you guys had, you're just proving that. So, you know, congratulations.
Well, we came close last year. We came 2 strokes from winning the team last year. These guys and I happened to be renting a house on the golf course the last year, right, literally on the tee. See the boys out here. I mean, they did it on their own, working hard. So, I mean, that's what it takes. And, you know, I did turn to my wife after Colby and Bryce both went off. Colby picked up for a triple in the middle of the fairway on the first hole. Bryce shanked it OB. And I was like,
The boss says, hey, look, they're good.
I was like, I'm not gonna win today. But I took my 6-man keep McKinnon, and I said, I texted him, he was up there telling me, I said, you're the mental coach today. So Colby had a rough start, but he finished the last 11 holes 5 over. And that's what we ended up. I mean, we came by, first of all, was focused on one thing, then we got turned, and they would turn the scores in at 9 holes, and we were like, oh, heck, Cherry was on the team back, so we started focusing on them. And anyway, they did great. And Bryce got mad on the first hole after that dude made a Cherryville. His parents said, nice par. The kid said, better to triple because Bryce tripled. And so
Thanks.
that just angered him and he literally made the car out of it.
It's good to get.
They had the motivation, but I'm proud of them. They're a great group of guys. You know, they work hard and they're fun, and play around, and good students for the most part. We're all, we got a great group of kids, and hopefully we got to find some farmland to place Colby, and we hopefully can do it again next year.
Yeah, it's fair to say, looks like you're in a pretty good spot to try to get him replaced. You got you.
Yeah, you never
Good
know.
shot. Oh, yeah.
Charter school might recruit the same.
Congratulations to you guys. We appreciate you. Yeah. Maybe let's get about it here.
And then y'all.
Yes, it always with that bitch. It's not what I feel.
I'm sorry. You're my mother. Okay.
I hadn't thought that. I did. I can't do it. Let's go put.
Shane, you gotta
some-
be still.
I'm sorry.
Put your water bottle down.
There you go. Hold on, Hans. We've got some family shots here. Keep saying, I'm gonna follow up with my dad, and but I guess it's okay.
I mean, like, got all the money, my grandkids said, "Get more money, that's what." All right, so we're gonna keep up here. If I had that all.
Say, well, man.
Yeah, it's like two.
Sure, you
Nice spot. Okay, nice spot.
Thank you.
Thank you. He's a year older than you.
That is, you know.
Jennifer. Shannon is, so, they both work for the,
They are for a while.
yeah. Next thing we've got is a little update, friends.
Okay, man.
Get back. Construction, Tanner Winchester was the North Construction, will give the project that date, that TMP 92.
Make sure your microphone's on, please. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Like I said, I'm Tanner Winchester. I'm with Benoit Construction, here today. Give you a brief update really of what's been going on site for the past 3 months, and then we can walk through the GMP. As in depth as y'all would like, and then I can answer any questions you have. That works. Like I said, we've been out here for roughly 3 months now, and really we've been focused on site grading. You know, most of that has been cutting areas down to grade. During that time, we've also installed some key storm drainage features and had our creek crossing completed. And then for the past few weeks, we made a large push on the building pad. We've got the building pad up to grade now. And during that time, we've also started the retaining wall. So all that is tracking very well on schedule. I know an important thing for y'all and for everybody is the budget, and we have continued to encounter unsuitable soils on site. You know, with the original boring tests and reports, we knew the soil wasn't very good. Having said that, we have continued to find soils that are over optimal moisture, and then again, too light to be places still on site. So through that process, we've been working every day with Kessel. Kessel has been testing the soil every day, to give us the readings of what it burns out to and the weight. They've also been very key in providing soil remediation efforts and reporting quantification. And they've worked with us very well to kind of give us what we need and not go overboard. So they've been great. Having said that, there is some good news. We have fared well on the proof roll of the building pad. We anticipated there would be a lot of undercut needed on that pad, but it actually passed the proof roll with only minor remediation. So there's been some good news. And I want to also point out, even though we have not found the suitable soil on site yet, we are continuing testing it, and we are ready to place that fill if we do encounter soils that are suitable to be placed on site. On more on that point, Benoit currently carries allowances in our contract, so it's not in the subcontractor's contract yet. It's with us and the owner, y'all. Allowances of what we thought we would need to cover the site work going in. With the conditions on site, we're expecting we're gonna exceed our GMP 1 allowances for site work. That being said, with GMP 2, we were able to come in under budget and then add more allowances back into our budget that would help us cover what we believe would be the worst case scenario. And the great news about that is any money unspent will be turned back over to the owner. So that's a very good win. With our GP2, we were able to get that extra cushion for everybody. Some other good news is aggregate pier. They mobilized last week and they're tracking on schedule. They should be wrapping up in the next few weeks. And then right after that, we expect concrete to start. So foundation should be underway early June. And then lastly, precast concrete. So precast was awarded during the original DMP 1. So we've been working very closely with them and the design team to reach a design that works straight for the programming, what Megamont can actually build with precast. And all that has been going great. We expect to get our final submittal from them in the next few weeks, and we are still very much on track for our September delivery of precast.
So you said you guys think you're gonna go over on GMP #1, and so that means you guys are having to eat that cost. But you said you were able to take it out of the second budget, so what do we lose for you guys taking it back out to get you back under budget?
You didn't lose anything. You got everything that y'all wanted in the original budget. So we had our design development drawings that we sent out for bid, and we used that to budget along the process. And then we did that, talked with the architects, developed a good project, and then it went out for official bid. And that's when we got those numbers back, we were actually under our budget that was anticipated.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And I'll walk through this here with y'all. There's a lot of numbers on it, so it can get pretty complicated. But basically on the left side here, the first column, you have the GMP early package. So this is the precast, the site work, and then some site contingency and our general conditions and stuff on this first column here. The second column is the ESSER funds for HVAC. Mitchell County is getting a grant for the HVAC, so this line item is broken out separately for them. And then the next column is the GMP2. So this is the balance of work. So this is everything that is required to complete the building, other than precast and site work. And then the right sheet, the right column is just the totals outlining all of that. Speaking of that, if you look down at the bottom, you have the accepted alternates. So we were able to include the kitchen equipment, the window treatments, and then we were also able to upgrade all the solid surface, all the countertops to solid surface, so they would provide a better, longer lasting product. And we were able to include the flooring requested by the owner and a resinous product inside the bathroom, so it would maintain for a very long time.
Something was a big trash. I'm chatting to put Terrazzo out there. I said, do it right, man. It's I know it's expensive, but Hard won't last as long as the good old Terrazzo will.
Yeah, that's what we do have so hard, but it's a very good product that they are.
I hate everything about stone hearts. I cut them millions and millions of dollars. POs. I run them out at Baxter. We won't hire them down there anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It all depends on who you get to come put it in. It's
And they're proprietary systems.
It's,
it was, I forget the name of it. I can look it up and tell you exactly, or I can send you an email with the exact one, but it was a.
LVT is a luxury vinyl.
What you said on
It's this right here.
Yeah.
It's similar.
Thank you.
So the base was linoleum and not very blue. Much nicer.
What was your issue with Stonehorse, Steve?
That's terrible.
Is it just
It's terrible in the world of pharmaceuticals. It don't hold up.
like chip or what?
It just doesn't hold up to like chemicals and stuff
Okay.
eating around. But now for schools, it'd be probably fine. I mean, just heavy traffic, you're not putting it under 180-degree heats and, you know, all kind of chemicals and all that stuff. But for that, not the right, but for schools, to be fine.
No, we thought it would pull up very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heavy traffic, walking, we fine.
And then, for y'all's record, if you go to the second page here, this shows you kind of where our budget's landed. On the farthest left column, you can start with the original SD budget, so this is back in 2019, is that right? And then you have, it shows you where we progressed along the way and where we actually came in.
Have you guys hired a bunch of people? I mean, I noticed you have a sign there in Ledger, you know, you want to come work, we're hiring. Have you had anybody come?
NHM, yes, our grading contractor sent a bunch of people. I think he's hired a few people from Mitchell County,
That's good.
but, I think he hired another Phyllis Cruz right now, so. That's not what I'm back up.
I just was curious if you guys have had much interest or
You
not.
know, a lot of people stopped in and wanted to work, and a lot of people stopped in and wanted some dirt.
I can imagine. Everybody likes a little free dirt.
Okay. Is there any questions y'all have?
The number's looking for us overall. What is the grade material that y'all use to
Do the pattern?
backfill?
That is screens, so it's from the quarry and, they're importing that in the backfill, so it's similar to sand, actually, but it packs very well. And
Yeah.
does a good job of separating the moisture in the existing soil.
Is that what we're replacing, I guess, non-suitable soil with?
For right now, yes, sir. Mhm.
So basically just have to take it out and do compaction tests and all that stuff and. I mean, you guys don't anticipate any problems with all the soil stuff that. Incurring?
Not so far. I mean, we've done remediation to the groundwork of the existing soil, the virgin soil, you know, whether it's geogrid or tearing some out and putting back in stone or ABC, whatever it may be. But no, we're feeling very confident. The compactions that came back very well. And then we also have the aggregate piers which support the foundation of the building. So which that saves cost on having the rocks underneath the support. You can still have the undercut somewhat.
Weather and everything, you guys on schedule as far as all that goes with where you wanted to be?
Yes, sir. We're right where we're going to be. Obviously, we've had a lot of rain lately, so that, you know, slowed down a little bit, but we're still right on track. And we factor in the rain days and we build the schedule.
Good construction day, it should. Yes, sir.
When will the citizens start seeing the structure come up out of the ground?
That will be when precast arrives, so there won't be any vertical until September 11th. And then 9/11, the day the precast arrives. So it'll go up quick. So, they'll basically start with the wing that's closest to the road and then work their way across the building. So they should be September 9th, and it'll take a couple of weeks, probably 3 or 4 to get that station, and they'll continue to work throughout the building.
I know you said this already, Ken, but, when do you anticipate they'll start pouring concrete?
Oh, that will be, towards the end of this month early. Yes, sir.
And school opening just is April or August of 25, is that what we're targeting? I think?
I believe so, yes, I think we're, our contract is to end in February, so that would make
25.
Sounds like you will have it dried in before bad weather comes.
That is our intent. We'll kind of grind in as we progress, you know. But, so we'll start on that north wing, and once that precast is up, we'll start doing our work inside, and then we'll follow up the building. So we'll be roofing to the point.
Okay.
That's the key.
That makes a lot of sense. You just put the whole shell up and do the roof. You're gonna work as you go, so let's say the wheels did sort of run off after part and got bad weather early. You still got a portion of the building gonna be dry.
It's kind of the beauty of the precast system too. I mean, precast, you know, we'll have it erected in what, 90, 120 days, which goes, and, you know, shells up, put the roof on it, we're going to town.
What type of roof you just put on?
TPO.
Who's your contractor? You selected it.
Yes, sir. It is Alcon and they're out of Greenville.
So with your precast, weather is not as big a factor.
Is that roof's on?
And
So
fully
that roof's
not,
on as soon as you get windows. in.
yeah, it's not like masonry and block and brick.
Yeah,
Not
you pick
looking
up
for block
probably,
masons and brick masons.
yeah, you pick up probably, I bet, I mean, and it factored in, I mean, you probably pick up 4 months, 4 to 6 months. In schedule doing that, because you're, the precast is your skin in this scenario. Okay, you know, you just did it, but.
And also able to, you know, cast the brick into the concrete, so it looks like the brick.
Yeah. And how big are those sheets? roughly?
The wall panels are, I think they're 12'7" a quarter or something. So we put the panels like.
Okay.
We worked it out through the design team when we measured on, make sure the coursing looks as good as it possibly can. So, you know, shrunk the wall, the panel there, just shrunk them a little bit and kind of make that very coarse work out for the windows. You know.
Guys, any other questions? Good job, guys. Looks good. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Guys, you're also welcome to stay with us for. You guys, you know how late we lead up.
Be good with me, maybe.
This is great. I believe the appropriate take vote on that. I think is that later in the agenda.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe that was the case. And Mr. Chairman, on the front page, there's a blank for the new date of substantial completion will be. And are you guys okay if we have the word unchanged? Because I think you have 0 days in there, just to fill in that blank.
And I think unchanged works. What I don't recall is if we put the dates in the first one. I think we did, but I'm not positive.
I believe that was.
I want to say it was.
So, since it's not going to change it by any days, I think that'll clarify.
Thank you.
Next item on the list tonight is the NCPTA safety work, Sheila Boyd. That's all we need. So, just so everybody understands, and Alan, I don't know if you want to. Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and speak and I'll speak.
All right, yes, so when I come into this job as the new county manager. One of the things that made my job easy was looking over there at transportation and seeing what a veteran we have working over there. Sheila's been there in the trenches, she's been innovating, she's been managing her staff. For how many years? I bet 20, 25.
No, I've been director since 2010.
2010. So I mean, she has been there But what I see coming from Sheila is on the state level, you know, when she competes with little old Mitchell County against the state of North Carolina, our transportation department stacks up. You know, we looked at our golf team, and you know, they're winning in the state, but hey, our transportation team is winning in the state. They're very impressive. And Sheila, I appreciate your hand in that. And that said, Steve, you can move forward with that award, but we're so happy to have you.
And I add, this is our third year in a row.
I was gonna
Third
say,
year.
I know we've handed this, I knew at least I remembered one, but I didn't realize.
It's their
Third.
fourth safety award, and this is our third year in a row.
Didn't we get a
We got,
national recognition?
we got state recognition, one of the rural state transportation of the year.
Oh, there's something
Well,
on the national level that
it would have been
Mitchell
that,
County, North Carolina.
it would have been the grant that we got from Timeline, that was a national award. And then this fall, I will be presenting our video that we have, we'll be presenting that to the nation at the RTAP conference in Myrtle Beach in fall.
Also, video.
Just a little bit of background on our videos. So our David Bidix is our communication specialist, and we did a department head meeting. And Sheila caught Mr. Bidix on about his first day of the job. And she said, I need a video. I said, I'm working some grand angles, and that's just who Sheila is, very innovative, and she hit him up and got a very good video. We will watch that at a future commission meeting.
Okay, yeah,
Basically, the safety award, the way I understand it, Sheila, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's based on how many miles we drive, right?
yeah, we are on under 100,000.
Okay,
So our award is for the best rule system under 100,000.
best fuel system under 100,000 miles, so
Is in the safety area.
gotcha. Well, congratulations, we'll present you with a pretty flat.
We're in there, I'm not.
Give you this pretty flat. That picture was ugly on there. Congratulations. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you all.
Appreciate everyone's support as well.
We appreciate y'all.
How did y'all, how did y'all, transportation rodeo turn out? I saw it.
It's 16.
Okay.
Still ain't done. We're in McDowell at Nemo Crossings, and that's the 16th, and we will be competing 5 counties, and we'll have a lot of our NCPTA director is going to be there, and we've got the McDowell County chairman who's going to be handing out awards, and so we've got a lot of. I've tried to get Josh Dobson there because NCDOL is going to be doing our bloodborne pathogens. So we've got to come as well. I'd love to sit for you and see what we do.
Absolutely. Next item on the agenda this evening, of course, if you're gonna win state awards for safety, you gotta have certain people that are driving that, and that will be our rural transportation driver of the year, Miss Lori Rhodes. I think she was able to make it in today, so we appreciate you, Lori.
Thank you. And I want to tell you what I wrote about Lori when I for her to receive this award. Lori works with Nicole Buchanan and goes to church with her. And you correct me if I say anything wrong, but she was hearing Nicole talk about how well she loved her doing her work at church. And so Lori's just kind of got interested because she was hearing Nicole talk so much about her job. So she came and applied for part-time driver. And she just was such a good fit, took care of the people so well. And so when a full-time position came open, she applied and she was able to go full-time. She loves her people, she loves her kids. She's just made an excellent transportation driver. First rodeo she attended, she won, first place, wasn't it? She won first place, and so I have big wishes and big hopes and dreams in her for the 16th. But she has just been, her attitude is always what you see. And she just takes care of her people so well. She does their shoppers on Thursdays and Fridays, and that is a very hard job. Because you're helping, yeah. Yeah, like today we had a call, we had somebody with $60 pressure, we just cut him back anymore. Let's do it. But anyway, she loves these groceries up to everybody's door and porch, and how many pounds of dog food sometimes?
50-pound bags.
Yeah, dog food and cat food and deer corn, and she never complains. So that's why she won State Rural Transit Driver of the Year.
Well, thank you very much.
You gotta come up here with me.
Hey.
Cut down there, you came up here. I can't make that.
Matt, you want to get one after you get one of them, get one with Sheila?
Yeah.
Take 3 of them for good measure.
Okay. See you later.
Thank you.
And I forgot to tell you, she went to the state rodeo, first time we've ever seen a driver, and she done really well.
Let me move my.
All right. Scrap a little bit.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Oh, that.
Yes.
Oh, that's. Oh, Rocky, that kid was up there in that high country, he was watching that. I followed, he said, Connor's had it, he said, he's blowed up, I said. Yeah, I said, that's amazing, I've been forced to every season. Yeah. I was there playing. Next on the list tonight is the R&R fund authorization. Who's speaking to this one?
That might be good.
This person. Time to speak to this. Okay.
Well, they're all freezing.
Got dressed appropriately.
Either too hot or too cold.
These new leather chairs ain't warm as the spot.
Okay, what the R&R is, it's actually Public School Building Repair and Renovation Fund. And it's actually funding coming from the North Carolina Education Lottery. And it's a special allotment that is a 3-year. Last year, they got an allotment of 300,000. This year, it's 500,000. And next year, it's 500,000. So the way this works is the state holds this money until they request it to be paid out. And you're going to approve it just like you're doing the lottery school grant for the school. So both boards has to sign and approve it. And if you're interested, I did get the manual on this money and the questions and answers on this as far as what it can be spent for and what it cannot be spent for. But basically, in a nutshell, it's for school, current school repairs and renovations, no athletics, no technology, it's building maintenance and repairs. So what they did was, once they got, and this actually came out March the 1st of 23, is when she got her guidebook and her information. What she did was she went back through expenses that they had had this year in capital that qualified, and she's asking for reimbursement of $183,000, 183,517.26.
Do you have a list of those items?
And I think they're in your
Okay.
book, I hope. Okay, and I tried to go in and write down which school, because I got with her and got the school codes to figure out which schools these repairs were being done on. So these are repairs that actually happened from October through May of this year. What she's going to do, now that they've figured out what can be spent and what can't, she's gonna hopefully get a list of what their plans are for the remainder of this money. In other words, things that they know capital wise that may have to be done. In the past, how they would have paid for these would have been their sales tax money that we send them every year, and you know, we're holding that money now. In lieu of giving it to them to spend on normal capital needs. So what they've done is they, are using this special appropriation from the state, which is temporary. It's going to last for 3 years, which is good for us because we're holding the sales tax money till we get the bills finished. So hopefully this money that they're getting will carry them with any repairs or breakdowns they have on those buildings, whether it be HVAC or whatever, until that school is built, and then if we don't use that, then we would have capital money for their requests. Does that make sense?
Do they get the same allotment each year for the next, you said 3 years?
They got, it's gonna be a total of 1.3. They got 300,000 last year. I'm not sure when they actually got it. It may have bled over to this year, but it was appropriated in last year's state budget. 500,000 the year we're in now, and 500,000 in the year next year. As far as Beth knows at this point, she can find nowhere, and I'll be honest, I haven't read the whole manual. There is no time frame to spend this money. In other words, it's sitting there just like their lottery funds are until they request it. It's gonna sit there. In other words, she's not gonna lose it. And it's so far, they've not put a time frame that they have to use. To be honest, I kind of figure it's like everything else that we get right now. It's money that the state has been setting on from ARPA or COVID or whatever fund, special allotments, probably, and they have to dispose of it within a certain amount of time. So once it passes through the school, then it's out of their reserves, so. Any questions? You find it, and I've got it if you need it. And Beth's gonna try to get us, they have talked about, they're trying to do as few repairs right now as they can. And as few, in other words, they're trying to hold this money as long as possible.
Turn it over to us, let's take it with it. There you go.
Yeah, I think they're trying to be conservative right now on any capital needs, because of course we're holding the sales tax money, so they don't have access to that. So they do have this, which will carry them over for any emergency.
It's good for both parties because with the last draw of money, 10%, 3 schools should be close.
Right,
And you
hopefully.
eliminated capital needs on probably 3 of your oldest vehicles. So it's very possible.
Yes, they,
Can't eliminate all repairs costs for students, you know, so.
yeah,
Got to.
they gotta keep it up to operational standards.
Yeah, and with our county, I mean, you see it's the unforeseen repairs that get you, you budget out everything you project and then something new grabs you. So this is going to be good for them.
And I guess the thing I would like to ask, this money, okay, she sent this on the 24th. I didn't have authorization for Steve to go ahead and sign this because this is new. R&R is a new fund, not like the bill we've been talking about. The other thing I'd like for you to consider is giving County Manager Cook and myself the authority to review these and look at these and go ahead and get Steve to sign them because we couldn't get this to the state by the 25th of May, she just sent it to me on the 22nd. They will not get this reimbursement. They didn't get it at the end of May, so now they'll have to get it in by the June 25th, so she won't get it to the very end of June. So, and this is money she has to spend and then pay herself back. So if there's any way y'all would consider letting us go ahead and fast track these as they come in, and then do like we did today, put it on your consent agenda for you guys to, approve. And that's just a thought that you might want to think about. And I really don't know if she'll do these but once a year. I'm not sure. I'd say it probably could depend on what she has to do and what her cash flow is.
Did you know they submitted their facility needs report?
I have
Do you
no
know when
idea.
they submit that?
I do not know, but that's a question we can ask them.
And we talked a little bit with Beth on the phone today, and it sounded like it was closer to October that they would be looking at that.
Of their capital, it depends, they never pass their budget by July 1st. They always operate off of the interim budget. They never do theirs till the state passes their budget and they get confirmed numbers from the state of what their funding is, which is, I don't know, it's like that, I don't like that either, but that's how they do their budget. And so that's kind of, you know, makes it hard for us, because they can't get us truly what they need in capital till they get the. Okay, we need an approval and to pass this so I can get this back to them. On this.
Do I have a motion? We have a second. Second. All in favor, vote with use of sign. Motion carries.
And I think Taylor has the one for you to sign tonight, and I'll get back to her tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just that. I've got one. It'll let me use it. It worked a lot better. I noticed my little pal over there had signed all, her, you've already signed all.
I
this
did
stuff.
mine this morning.
Did pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Next item, you this evening is the approval of the tab members.
It's getting big, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, I did. As the approval of VMP number 2 for the middle school construction that Benoit just covered. Have a motion on that, or any discussion? Do I have a motion, we approve VMP number 2 for the middle school construction? Come move. Second. Vote the usual sign. Motion carries. Next one is the approval of the tab members for the Mitchell County Transportation. So we need to vote to approve the following members for the Transportation Advisory Board. I think we've got on here, Laz Agayo and Elizabeth Silvers. To have a motion, we approve them to move on this board.
What are their, terms? I'm supposed to say, how long is our terms?
Do you know Sheila? I'm not sure.
2 years,
That's what I was thinking, but I don't, that's just.
I think
my-
it's 2 years
Check
for
the what?
public, and then they can run 2 years consecutive, so a total of 4. Yeah, that, I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
So that's what I thought, it was 2 years. I wasn't sure about the, so 2-year term, and then they can do it again, so you can get 4. Only 2 consecutive.
Lois currently isn't on there though, is he?
No,
Okay,
and Elizabeth isn't either, and they're not an agency representative.
yeah,
They're gonna be public, that's why you had to vote on them. They're gonna be representing public passengers.
How many people serve on that board this year?
We have around 12, mostly, like I said, agencies. So those I don't have to bring before you for approval.
And y'all meet quarterly?
Yes,
Do we have a commissioner serve on that board?
I think Alan.
County manager on it.
yeah.
good with those, I'll make a motion to approve those.
Second. All in favor, vote with the usual sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda this evening is the DOT requirement for patrolman cannot Memorial Bridge. You guys remember we voted, that was been a few months back. To, on a resolution to honor patrolman cannot in January with the naming of the bridge. Along with that resolution, it's a requirement to receive a $2,000 pledge to the North Carolina Department of Transportation once the dedication is approved. The bridge connects Mitchell and Yancey County, so the pledge will be split by the counties. The board would need to vote to approve the $1,000 pledge for the NCDOT for patrolman Lawrence Knight Jr. Memorial Bridge.
And it would go off this year's budget. Thanks.
Okay.
I did reach out.
I have a motion, we approve that allotment
It was officer, Lee's. Was still one meeting in the seventies.
back in the seventies. Yeah, he's a state trooper, I believe, back in the seventies.
US Air Force. Or Navy. I think they're not resolution on there, so. We've been working on it for a long time.
And Yancey has committed the 1,000 on their side of it.
I'm going to, put that as on the school.
Got a motion, do we have a second? Second. All in favor, vote the usual sign. Motion carries. Next item on the list is Spencer Mavis Parson to present budget agenda number 6.
Okay, I'm working hard to not, to keep these at a minimal at the end of the year. We will do the final one on, June 20th. That's when you're gonna see, like, some bigger numbers get moved around. This is another small one, it's just $92,641. It is a balanced budget. It's really just recognizing some additional revenues and then offsetting those with corresponding expenses. And also you see, the TDA has done a small budget amendment. Their board's already approved it, but I have to put in their budget amendments as well. And that's due to, it appears that we're going to have additional revenues than the 150 that we originally projected. We're tracking right now to be more like 180 for the year, so we adjusted that. But again, we'll do the final one on the 20th. And then hopefully we can recognize some revenue that we'll be able to appropriate and unbalance. Okay? I need that one approved, please. If you don't have any more questions or have any questions about it.
I'm completely off the wall, not even 11 years to the best now. What are we tracking as far as, fuel expenses? Higher, lower?
Lower.
Lower? Okay. I was just curious, I hadn't
Yeah,
looked
in
at it.
fact, what we did was, we will have some savings there too, which we'll recognize once I can estimate where we are for June expense, but, and we lowered that expense for next year. If you remember last year, we were on the high end. So we budgeted pretty high because of that. And this year, because the numbers have been down, Sheriff and Alan and I talked about it at budget time, and we've actually lowered for next year. It's up and down. So we may have lowered it too low and it'll catch us next year, but we pulled it down because this year's has been really low. We're gonna probably come in more like, not even, we're probably gonna have about a 30 to 40% savings in that category this year. Medical's even down.
Well, I think that
Knock
was
on wood if something don't.
better. But I think during COVID though, we went so hard because they weren't doing.
That was just anything.
So-
And then right after COVID, we got a spike
Yeah,
really bad. And then
I was just curious.
now we're down again. So yeah.
So the budget amendments for extra revenue and TVA. Count, I move that we prove that.
Second. All in favor, vote the usual sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the list is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
It should all your contractors on.
Yes, that's the whole. I'm down to about, I'm reading there, I'm down to the clear sky behavioral.
Steve has some time, so I'm good with that. Except this agenda.
I said. On favor, vote the usual side. I think we've got 11 item number 13, A, I need to be able to find me a good day for me, you know, I was kidding. Some of this stuff. Next item on the list is actually number 13. We got a motion and a second, didn't we? Okay, so we're good on the consent agenda. Anything from the finance office this evening?
Actually, no, it's prepared and come back. I had it on. One of all those forms this morning, I forgot all about.
You did give them some work in their file, but like,
Yeah, I
so
did.
you did.
I did. I gave you the monthly report, so you have those. But if you have any questions, I'll be glad. If there's any other finance questions, I'll be glad to.
You've been busy for a couple of months, so we give you a free pass to see. County manager, anything from your desk to see?
Got a few things. One I want to present to the board is the potential to move the July 3rd commission and DXS meeting to July 10th. That would be be a little better to do one meeting that month, but now I do see a made of snow.
Okay, it'll be okay. I won't be here, but I shouldn't have anything that first. If I do, you can have it. Usually the first meeting in July is. There shouldn't be anything finance wise.
we got your budget minutes, you might feel it's wrong.
So,
I just
You
did it.
can, I won't do until August if you cut in.
What possible is that?
July 11th. I have,
Be on a Tuesday.
I possibly could. Harley and
Oh, we-
she has a trip that day. Harley has a meeting conference or that she's doing on the 11th, but we could do it.
No, it's no problem.
I mean, if I can make it work for whatever works for this board.
Is that like ours means, you know, that's what I was thinking.
But that shouldn't be a problem with girls because I'll have my, the son. Things to get here.
Okay. Now, on that, we might be looking at, right now, our progress on subdivision ordinance could be in July for a public hearing. What say you all on that if we did it that day? Did our commission board all attend on that?
You can do it on the 11th, so.
So far, that would be in time. The whole board here on that. We're kind of moving in that general direction.
If we could, I mean, I think that'd be great if we could take care of business, everything we need to.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if we do,
Meeting that, just drag it out.
if we do July 10th, our DSS meeting and our commission meeting with a public hearing for a subdivision ordinance and a public hearing for a hazardous spill ordinance. We both made them on that day, so we would be doing a lot of work. That's why I was asking.
Gonna be a DSS meeting that day too.
Yeah, that would be correct as well.
I'll check on Monday, see if she can do that.
So we're saying the 10th or
The 10th is what I'm hearing now, 10th, starting at 5:30 for the DSS. 7 for the commission meeting with the public hearing on subdivision. Being a part of that 7 PM meeting. So for those on live stream, that's kind of where our target date is. Subdivision ordinance is in legal review right now. It gets out of legal review. We'll get authorization from the commission board. And they will, then we will do our proper process of, go time to advertise the public hearing on a variety of media, to include radio, to include newspaper,
Make sure you call Gary too.
to calling select stakeholders to, making sure our folks know, making sure our county knows, so if they want to provide input on that, they may do so. And same thing with chemical spill ordinance, we can do that, so.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
if we didn't have a long DSS meeting that night,
Yeah,
we could do the public hearing 6 and 7.
yeah.
And give 30 minutes to cover both of those, would that be in proper order?
No, so that'd be fine. As a land use ordinance, you would need to vote to call for the public hearing at this meeting so that it will have appeared on 2 different, meetings before you vote on it. But yes, sir, you can set whatever time you want, as long as we have proper notice on it.
So there's 30 minutes of public hearing for one and then the other. Is that what you're saying, Jeff?
Think that long, one's probably gonna take a little bit longer than the other. I think we realize that, and if it runs over in the commission meeting, we start that at 7:15 or 7:20, 7 o'clock, that will go till 2. But to keep us from being here till 11 o'clock at night, finishing up commissioner business. And I mean, unless something major has happened, you know, our DSS presentation tonight is about 30 minutes, so we get started at 5 o'clock. It'll be easily over with by 6, or have Wendy work it out before it'll be over.
My, 30,
Be over by 6 and start the public hearing at 6 o'clock. And hopefully we'll get it to 7. So, if I understood you correctly, do I need to put that in a motion?
Yes, please.
I would make a motion that we have a public hearing on July 6th, excuse me, July 10th at 6 p.m. concerning the subdivision ordinance and the chemical spill ordinance.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, vote for you to sign. Motion carried.
All right, thank y'all. That's some of what we want to talk about today, is just making sure we're running that on our schedules. Chemical spill ordinance, want to talk a little bit on that. We had a very productive meeting. Commissioner Roberts and Commissioner Masters attended a chemical spill meeting about 2 weeks ago, and had a couple action items come out of that. And Sudelco and Courts are looking to fund a chemical spill recovery trailer, to outfit that trailer, to bring it up to par. I think they've got some fund sources that they might be able to hook us up with to get that. So that's exciting. We also got a potential for state DOT to do some road mitigation at the Red Hill area around where Highway 197 and 226 intersect. So they've done a redesign on that road, and next they'll do a cost analysis of that. So on the cost analysis, they'll see how much money is needed. That's the area where most of the spills have been occurring. Tractor trailers turn off that road and there's not sufficient shoulders. So that is that's something there that we want to we might have y'all as board members bring a request forward if the funding isn't available from the DOT source that's in-house. We might have to go one more level to work on that. So that may be coming down the pipe for you all. One more thing on the chemical spill, or we got this chemical spill ordinance, we got road mitigation, and we got a chemical spill trailer. I want our citizens to know that we have, this commission board has heard their voice and have been working hard to look at ways to make sure that we are prepared should a chemical spill occur. And we've had good input from that, and we will be continuing to listen to those citizens that discuss that. Also, we're getting near budget year end, and I'll say this to the commissioners, you know, here and there, if there's something in this budget, you know, you have questions about, You know, whether, you wanted to talk about that here on the public meeting or individually to finance office and me, please let me know, if you see something in this budget that's concerning you. We can work with that, and we still got a little time to look at things, and we got to pass this budget, so. Just always want to keep that out there for this board. I appreciate the opportunity to work for this commission board. I appreciate y'all's input into this budget process and things that y'all are, giving oversight to, giving a good look on, and I'm sure there's something I've forgotten. But for right now, I think that's my county manager report. Thank y'all.
Thank you, County Manager. We do need to go into closed session to discuss some personnel, real quick. Can I get a motion, we go into closed session? I don't think I do.
Yes, sir. The purpose is sufficient to say that it's a personnel matter and we can recite the statute in the minutes, that references it, but you don't have to read it.
And if everybody can sit in the conference room during closed session, if you're not part of the closed session, it'll be all right.
Mr. Chairman, you don't need to-
Yes, I'll need you to keep minutes. That's what we're doing.
Sorry, we're still here.